Far and Away Mobile Pet Grooming provides professional grooming services right outside your home. Their state-of-the-art mobile grooming salon won't disturb your neighbors with loud noises or smelly fumes, providing a less stressful grooming experience with no more contact with other pets and their germs. With nearly 50 years combined professional grooming experience, Village's residents Eric and Sharon McFarland bring their expertise and full line of competitively priced services to your home. Big dogs or small, they do them all. I trust them with my Sully and Lily, and you can trust them with yours. Far and Away, they're the best mobile groomer in the Villages. Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to Gold Wingnut Live. This week's sponsor is Far and Away Mobile Pet Groomers. Eric McFarland does a great job. You just saw my Sully and Lily in the commercial. They were the stars. Today, I am here at Victory Family Sports Grill with none other than Mr. Fred Karimipour. He is the proprietor and owner of FMK Restaurant Group?
Hospitality Group, yes.
FMK Hospitality Group, okay. We'll get to that in just a second. He's just opened up Victory Family Sports Grill this past Wednesday. He did a soft opening. Good
morning.
Welcome.
Good morning.
Thanks for allowing us to do this here. I got a bunch of questions for you.
I'm ready.
And if you all have questions for Fred, you can type them in. We've got the cell phone hooked up already, so you can call in and we'll take your calls, and let's get to it. So what's been the response for Victory so far?
Just amazing, wonderful. It's just from the minute we opened up, we've been on a pretty good wait. People are coming in continuously. It's a very large restaurant, so the wait's not that very long, but the response has been wonderful and amazing.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, I was here Wednesday and Thursday and Friday. My wife wouldn't let me come back last night. What surprised me the most was the number of kids.
Kids.
It was a great mix. I mean, all ages. Obviously, the older residents from the villages are all responding, but Middleton residents are coming here in droves also.
Lots of families, lots of kids, and residents as well. Yeah, good mix.
Yeah,
a wonderful mix.
My watch is doing nutso stuff. Let me take it off because I know what's going to happen. I'm going to drag it across the table, and it makes all kinds of ugly noise. Anyway, so what does FMK stand for?
That's a great question. That's a question I get approached by a lot. What does FMK stand for? And I really think when I was looking to name the company, I really felt like a name should represent who you are and what you do and what you stand for. And so the name I came up with was Fresh Made Kitchen, and that's what FMK stands for, Fresh Made Kitchen, and just happened to be my initials. So it is my initials, but that's not what it truly stands for. It stands for what we do because we make so much of our food from scratch. I think response has been, most people in the villages realize that we do everything from scratch, and I think they appreciate it, and that's what we stand for. Sure, we buy ice cream, we buy frozen French fries, but the things that matter, such as dressings and sauces and so forth, we make so much of that in-house.
Oh, that's good. So, Fresh Made Kitchen.
Fresh Made Kitchen, that's FMK, and also my initials. So.
All right, thank you, Fred. All right, okay, so how'd you get started in the restaurant industry?
I've always been attracted to food business, something about hospitality that has been very dear to me, and I've loved it, I've enjoyed it, and I started in the restaurant business washing dishes. And from the ground up, I moved up through the ranks over the years. I've been in the restaurant business for 46 years. I know I don't look it. I know.
Gee. So 46. Never mind. We won't do the math on Fred.
46 years I have been in this restaurant business and loved every moment of it. And get up in the morning and look forward to going to work, and just very passionate about what I do here. Just love it.
It's a lot of work, though. I mean, it's not an easy industry to work in.
It's not, but nothing good is easy, is it? I mean, really, nothing worthwhile doing is easy. It's it's if you put a lot of effort into it, the rewards are so much greater. And and I just love every bit. I love both sides of the business. I love the kitchen operation, what we call back of the house, or heart of the house is what I also call it. And I also like the front of the house where I get to interact and have a one-on-one conversation with the guests. And nothing more pleasing, nothing more enjoyable to display hospitality and genuine hospitality. That's truly from the heart.
Great. So we got a comment here. Dreamcatcher says, tried your restaurant yesterday in Middleton and it was great. Wonderful service and food. When do you think you might be opening for lunch?
We are planning on opening for lunch this coming week, Thursday or Friday. We're going to make an announcement when the time is right, once we have all of our things in place.
Okay. Yeah, I know that.
Very soon. We're going to be opening for lunch very soon.
Excellent. Okay.
And our hours will be 11 to 9, 11 to 10, depending on the volume.
Okay.
And what's going on at the Tracy across and the school and all the things, all the activities there.
So you think the Tracy's is going to be a big draw for you?
It is. The school is, what a wonderful place to be. I mean, the school is just amazing to be able to, I know I'm getting off the question a little bit,
That's okay.
but to be able to attract some amazing talent from all over the country to come here, and because they care so much about their children, and the school provides an avenue for us to show them what we have to offer. And actually, we've had so many families moving to the area, and the school is the main reason for it.
Yeah, I know. It's an amazing facility. If you ever get a chance to take a tour of the school, folks, you're going to be blown away. It's absolutely phenomenal. The Villagers family did an incredible job building it. So, did you own restaurants before you came here?
Yes, many restaurants. I was based out of Orlando. I raised my family in Orlando, and had restaurants all around the country, and primarily in the Midwest. And I traveled for 20-some years, and but Orlando was home, and now the Villagers is home.
It is. It's. We'll get to that in a little while about your home. So, what was the first restaurant here in the Villages, and when did you open it?
We opened November of 2011. We opened Bonifay Country Club as our first location, and within a year, I sold everything I had and moved here because I just fell in love with the Villages 1 year into it, and came here full time. And we opened Evans Prairie Country Club as our second location within a 1 year after that.
Wow. Yeah, I've been to Evans Prairie more times than I care to mention. I used to have a flog meeting on my calendar when I was working, and my boss called me on it, and he finally said, "What the heck is this flog meeting?" I said, "Spell it backwards." He found out I was playing golf in the afternoons, and every time we play golf, we'd end up at the 19th hole right there at Evans Prairie. And I got to say, you are responsible for a lot of extra pounds in this community. Food has always been good, though. So how many restaurants do you currently operate here in the Villages?
Victory Sports Grill was number 13.
Well, let's hope that's not an omen.
No, and well, lucky 13.
Okay.
Lucky 13. That happens to be my favorite number, anyways, because one of my children was born on that day, on the 13th, and I'm good with it.
Okay.
This is number 13, and Prime and Ember in Eastport will be our 14th location.
Okay, 14. So 14 in basically 14 years.
Yes.
That's a heck of a lot of growth.
It's wonderful. It's a great place.
So all your restaurants are in the Villages?
All the restaurants are in the Villages.
You don't do anything outside the Villages?
Nothing outside the Villages. Don't want to do outside the Villages.
Wow. Okay.
There really is no better place than the Villages to do business in. I truly mean that.
So folks, if you see me looking over here a lot, it's because the setup isn't normal, how I normally have it. Normally I have a screen in front of me and the camera's in front of me, but because we're sitting here in the restaurant, I had to make some arrangements, so my laptop is over here, so I got to look over here to see the questions that come in. We got some coming in here. Let's see. Mark says 20% or more of the new residents in the Eastport Middleton area are Catholic. For Lent, any chance you can expand the Friday fish selection? Lobster bisque, maybe?
Absolutely. I go around, talk to residents, and our job is to provide what you want. And you can go to any of our websites and drop an email, and that comes to me. No matter which location you go to, and you write to us, we read. I promise you, we read every single email, every single message. We discuss it in our leadership meeting on Monday mornings, and we truly care what you want. We're here to please, and that's our primary goal.
Okay.
So yes, we have Lent specials currently going. If you wanted to expand it, tell us what you want to see. We're here to please.
So you're that flexible with what you can produce?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Wow.
Our number one desire is to give you what you want, and try to make as many. We can't make everyone happy, but try to make as many people as we can happy.
Okay.
Yeah. We're here to please. That's hospitality. Hospitality is when you know that I'm on your side. Hospitality and service are very, very different.
Okay.
Service is it's an even trade. You give me money, I give you a certain product. That's service, and of course that's expected, that's needed. But hospitality is going above and beyond, and knowing that we're on your side, and knowing that we want to do what's right by you and make things right.
Okay. Outstanding. So we got a good question that came in, and I thought about this the last time I was here. So I'm going to ask it. Dreamcatcher wants to know, is the outdoor dining area dog friendly?
We allow service animals, service dogs to come in. We cannot ask for papers. We can't ask for vests. It's against the law for us to ask for documentation. If you tell us it's a service animal, we allow your pet to come in with you.
But typical, I know, like if you go to some of the other restaurants, if they have outdoor seating, there's somebody, it's obviously not a service animal, but the dog is laying there at their feet. And sometimes you see people feeding them from the plate, and
Right.
That's not allowed.
It's not allowed, but if you tell us it's a service animal, we have to allow you to do that.
Man, don't go there, Fred. You're opening yourself up. You're opening yourself
Well,
up.
that's the law. That's the law. I have to go what the law says.
I understand. So let's see. VS says there is no better leader than a founder. Fred's love for his business and customers are evident.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Who's that from?
That's from VS.
Well, thank you, BS. That's very kind of you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
So Muskie, she's a friend of mine. She was a huge help in my campaign. She asks, any of the FMK restaurants have tallow-only fryers?
No.
Okay.
To be honest with you, no. Something I've thought about, something I'm thinking about, but honest answer at this point, no.
Okay, you're going to have to educate me. I know what tallow is.
Animal fat, cooking
animal fat,
versus vegetable oil, yes.
right? What's the advantage on that?
Taste, depends who you ask, and the health benefits or disadvantages, but everyone has a little different opinion. But right now, tallow is very, very popular. People are talking about it, and I have considered it.
Okay. Let's see. Mark wants to know, can lettuce be substituted for a bun for those on the keto and carnivore diets?
My answer to all those questions that are very similar to that, the answer is always yes. What's the question? If I have the ingredients to do what you want us to do, our objective is to make you happy and do whatever it takes to do right. And so if we have the ingredients, absolutely yes. And that just applies to everything that we do. If we can do it, the answer is yes. What's the question?
Okay. All right. All right, so let's go back to my line of questions. I have a huge list of questions for Fred, and I promised him I wouldn't sneak anything that would embarrass him in it too much. All right, so the restaurant industry, it's a difficult industry, especially with labor and the cyclic market here in the villages. How do you continue to be successful with where so many others have failed at it?
To be honest, I'm surrounded by some amazing, wonderful team members, and I get all the credit, but really they have some wonderful people that have been part of this company, some for a very, very long time, some from the beginning, quite a few from the beginning, and I think our culture is what has made us successful, and our culture, I think, is the answer to that. And we always talk about hospitality toward our guests, but hospitality starts within, towards each other, towards our own employees, and how we treat our employees, how we treat our managers, and I think that when you start with hospitality as your centerpiece and go out, I think that creates a foundation that our company is built upon, which is hospitality toward each other first. And the culture in this company is amazing. I'm blown away by the goodness of our staff, the goodness of our managers, and how wonderful they are. Truly am. I'm blessed.
Okay. So again, back to the cyclic market. I mean, we know that, here we are in March. In about 45 days, business is going to be down.
Yes.
Because our seasonal residents, I don't like to use the term snowbirds, it has bad connotations, but our seasonal residents go back up north for whatever crazy reason, I don't know. And that impacts your wait staff tremendously. I mean, tips are down and that. I mean, how do you keep people? They're that dedicated because of the culture?
We also have some seasonal employees that go up north or take some time off during the summer. So some of that already happens as it is. But yeah, it does affect overall the income, but it's somehow it works out.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's tough.
It is tough. It is tough when it goes down during the summer, but we're used to it. We expect it. And works out.
I will say that your restaurants and the only other restaurants I've known that are consistent like this is Daryl's Diner over there in Pinellas. I go over there every Saturday morning for breakfast, and it doesn't matter what time of year. The place is always slammed. It's crazy. All right. Have you had any restaurants fail in the villages?
In the villages, none.
Wow.
In the village, I have a saying. It's if you're in the yellow lines of the villages, if you're within the boundaries of the villages, and you have golf cart access, it's kind of hard to screw it up. This is because this is a wonderful place, and it's loyal customer base. No, we have not had a failure.
Okay, so you touched on one of my questions that I have planned for later, but I'll ask it now. You said golf cart accessibility. Is that really important to your business?
Extremely important to have golf cart accessibility. So many people travel via golf cart, and if you don't have it, you're out the loop.
Okay. Yeah, I've heard, upwards to 20%.
I don't know what the number is, but I just think it's extremely important to have it.
Okay. All right. So there have been a lot of failures for restaurants here in the villages, and you've come in and taken those locations over, and those locations have bounced back. I mean, Bluefin over in Brownwood, prime example. That went through 3 or 4 restaurants before you stepped in. Tap House is now in where Red Lobster used to be. What else? Spanish Springs. You got 2 locations. I got Guy Ferrigno here. Guy Ferrari. I think I'm thinking Lou Ferrigno, the Incredible Hulk. Okay, is now the Chop House. That's yours. Of course, your latest acquisition is McGrady's is now Sawgrass Tavern. How do you succeed when these other restaurant people aren't so successful?
I don't know what they did wrong. I just know the formula we have for business, and I know it works, and it really is a simple business. Food comes in the back door, goes out the front door, and you cannot overcomplicate it, and it takes people. People bring it in. People prep it. People take your order and sell it to you. And it's a people business. And if you take care of people, it's a very simple business. And don't like to overcomplicate it.
You keep using the same word, people, whether it's your people or your customers. They seem to be the most important thing to you.
That is. I mean, this is a people business,
Yeah.
and what a privilege! What a privilege to work with some of these young people that work here and we work together. It's a privilege.
Okay. So, Victory offers typical sports bar food.
And a few other things.
You're right. Any plans for something more formal? I know Prime and Embers, I think, is supposed to be a little more formal.
Prime and Embers coming up, and that will be a little bit more formal. Yes.
And like you got Harvest over in Brownwood. That's a very healthy place to eat. Any plans for something like that coming?
Well, again, Prime and Ember will be as well.
Okay.
Sure, have some red meat in there, but
You gotta have red meat.
As the locations come available, as we see what the need is, and I would love to know what you guys would like to see out there, what kind of food. I hear a lot about Indian food, I hear a lot about Middle Eastern food, Peruvian food, and so love your feedback, and we're always looking to expand.
You start getting into some of these other cultural foods, that becomes a very narrow market.
Yes, it does.
And I can see where that's hard to.
It's hard to manage in a large-scale restaurant, but as I talk to residents and they tell me what they want to see, their taste buds have changed over the years, and they want to see the expanded menu offerings.
The only exception to that, and I got told this, oh my gosh, it was probably about 35 years ago when I opened my first business. I had a computer maintenance business, and I was working with the Small Business Administration, and they had a class, and I sat through it, and they talked about the different types of business. They said the only one that doesn't fail is a Chinese food restaurant. It seems like they pop up everywhere, and they always manage to survive. I guess everybody likes Chinese food.
They do.
We had a couple of more questions. Do you do catering?
Very limited.
Very limited.
Very limited. Catering is extremely difficult, not very profitable. You basically take your kitchen operation and your service operation, put it in a truck, and go off-site and hope no one gets in an accident, and hope all your belongings come back. No one leaves glasses and plates and so forth behind. It's very difficult to do catering, and it's I call it a young man's game.
I've seen your trailer. Sometimes it's over at Evans Prairie. Sometimes it's over in Belglade.
Those are our maintenance. We use one of them for catering, but those are also our maintenance trailers that we do advertising on. We got into catering business, and we realized the profit margins were just not there here. So we've kind of backed off of it. But we do very, very select.
You sound like a businessman. Profit. Folks.
Well, it helps to pay the bills.
It is about the money. Okay.
You got to pay the bills.
Yeah. You got to pay the bills. Everybody that's here in the villages got here because they earned money, and they got smart with their money. They saved it. They prepared for retirement, or they're working here in the villages, or somebody in their family's working. That's folks over here in Middleton. So yeah, it is about the money. But let's see. So what more can you tell us about Prime and Embers?
Prime and Ember is going to be our flagship. It's an exciting project that we're working on. It has a rooftop bar, which is nothing like it here, and overlooks the stage. Some of you might have seen it on the videos. Downstairs is a very upscale restaurant, and it has an open kitchen where you can sit through a glass in the kitchen, and so we're excited about that.
Okay. You can't tell us any idea when it's going to open?
In the fall. How's that?
Specifically vague.
Yeah, well, involves construction.
I know.
Involves construction, and when you involve construction, there's so many moving parts, and you really cannot. It's too early to give out a date right now. It's
I understand. Yeah. I mean, I know. I've known Fred for a couple of years now, and we talked recently, and he told me this was a few months behind schedule opening up Victory.
We were, and again, it comes down to construction because just when you think you got to figure it out, and something pops up and it delays after delays, and before you know it, a couple months have gone by.
Yeah.
But we're very fortunate. We're very, very fortunate. Our contractors here in the villages are wonderful, amazing people that work very, very hard. That's another thing. To do construction here in the villages is very different than doing it outside the villages. I've built restaurants in downtown Chicago. I've built restaurants in cornfields, in Midwest, and soybean fields of Indiana, and every place is a little different. But in the villages, it's very unique because you're dealing with the same subcontractors. People talk about air conditioning company, for example. We've got, whether it's commercial or residential, we've got some great contractors here, plumbers, electricians, Galaxy, who does electrical work around here, just phenomenal people. The plumbers, Mike's got plumbing. So we're very, very fortunate to have some contractors here that are so easy to work with and all based here.
Yeah.
Makes the process so much easier.
I know Steve Muntins over at
Galaxy
is a friend of mine. Samantha and Sean Scott are friends of mine. I've gotten to know a lot of the contractors just because of the work I do. And to me, it's amazing how dedicated they are.
They're so dedicated, and they don't have a lot of turnover, so I can go on a job site and not just know the project manager, the superintendent, also the people actually doing the work, and because you see them from job after job, and it makes a difference because they know who they're building it for, and so
those relationships are hugely important.
And it just makes building restaurants so much easier.
Yep. All right, we have some more questions that came in. Diz Villager says, we traveled to Orlando and Tampa for Indian food, would love it here. Okay.
Who is that from?
That was from Diz Villager.
Thank you. Thank you for your input.
Let's see. Unschool is their name, says, as a carnivore, I wouldn't mind having steak and lamb chops on the menu. More grilled versus breaded and fried options in general.
Okay. No.
Let's see. Muskie says, I mentioned to a manager at Victory Family about Curious Elixirus, which is a non-alcoholic, no-sugar adaptation and healthy mocktail that is tasty. Any chance you will bring it in? Never heard of this stuff.
Never heard of it. If we have enough requests for a particular item, again, we're aimed to please. We're here to take care of your needs, and enough people write to us and let us know or tell us, sure, absolutely, we'll consider it.
Okay. Jerry Bell says, thanks, Muskie. There was a famous YouTuber that we know and love that was very critical about a sports bar opening across from the high school when it was announced. Thought it was a bad look. Wow. Okay.
They got you.
They got you. I know Fred and I had some words. You weren't happy with the way I portrayed it. And as I explained to you, it was not something meant towards you. I thought it just sent a bad message, and you explained a few things to me, and I understand.
So we've made peace since then. That's how this whole thing started. Was I called Don? I thought he was not right for what he had podcasted, and But since then, we've made peace.
Yeah, again, Fred, it wasn't directed directly at you. It just sent a bad message. Yeah, it's no secret that you have alcohol here. It's no secret that what's the other one? Four Rivers is going to serve alcohol, and it's no secret that there are many restaurants across the street from my high school. It just.
You just didn't like the way I said it, I think.
Yeah.
I think it's the choice of words I might have used.
I think the editor chose the wrong clip.
Okay.
Yeah, the editor chose the wrong clip for you to say. Because
now that it's open, what do you think?
oh man, it's awesome. I mean, what is it? 7,000 square feet.
7,200 square feet.
It's a huge place. I mean, I think is it one of the larger restaurants in the Villages? You think?
Yeah, I think it's pretty much everybody's about 7,000 square. Our ours are 7,000 square feet.
But what it's not crammed together. I mean, we might turn the camera around and show people around who haven't been here. The tables are not packed together like you see in some restaurants. Some, it's like, man, everybody's sitting shoulder to shoulder, and it's not that way here.
And the acoustics have turned out really well here as well. And there's different spaces that you can move to if you don't like it, but it's the acoustics from the feedback that I've gotten is pretty good.
It is. That was one of the first things we noticed when Debbie and I were here eating dinner on Wednesday. Let's see. Mark B says, any plans for expanding into the more fully international cuisine restaurants like Asian, Middle Eastern, Indian? Lots of us from larger cities and miss the diversity of cuisine. I think we've heard this
And this is a continuous thing I hear, and again, I love it because it tells me what everyone's thinking, and love your feedback. And yes, I hear you loud and clear. You want ethnic food, whether it's Indian or Middle Eastern or Peruvian, and I'm working on it.
Okay, that's good insight. Mark Morgan says, thought about celebrating the Prime and Embers grand opening with tickets for charity.
Love to know what you have in mind.
Okay.
Love to know what you have in mind. So please drop me a note at Fred at ourfmk.com, and I would love to know more. Mark, was it?
Mark Morgan.
Mark Morgan, I would love to know what you're thinking.
So Mark, he was recently picked. Okay. So Dreamcatcher says, what is the capacity for the special events dining space, and how does one go about reserving it?
Seats anywhere between 50 and 60. Talk to our management team about reserving it, the management team at the restaurant. But give us a couple of weeks, let us get things settled down here before we start taking large groups.
Okay.
If you would give us a month or so.
What's the matter? You getting swamped?
Well, we're busy, we're packed. It's kind of hard to get a large group in at one time.
Yeah. Originally, I wanted to do this, at 3 o'clock, and I had expected to do it before you opened. We talked about that,
Yes.
but when I reached out to Fred on Wednesday, I said, hey, how about this Sunday? He said, oh, no, we're opening today.
Well, it had taken so long for construction, and the residents of the Middleton, they were anxious for us to open up, and we were ready to open up, and just sometimes it's easier to just pull the Band-Aid.
Yeah, pull the Band-Aid off, rip it off. Yeah, okay. All right, Victoria wants to know, Fred, where do you spend most of your time? At which restaurant?
I travel between all the restaurants. I'm in and out of them. I'm up and down Buena Vista and Morse Boulevard all day, every day, and visiting with the staff and motivating the management team. Spend very little time at the office. I'm usually in the office Monday mornings from 10 to 12, having a leadership meeting, and then from there we all head the road and go visit restaurants. And so I would say most of my time is in my car going between restaurants.
Yeah, it's a bit of a drive from here up to Orange Blossom.
Orange Blossom to Middleton is almost an hour by car.
Wow.
And yeah, that's why it's a good problem to have.
Yeah. Yeah. So you said where's your office at? I didn't even know.
We have an office here in Wildwood.
In Wildwood? Okay. Just was curious. Let's see. You know what? it's about that time. We're going to take a break for just a few seconds so we can stretch and to hear from our sponsor, Fur and Away. Fur and Away Mobile Pet Grooming provides professional grooming services right outside your home. Their state-of-the-art mobile grooming salon won't disturb your neighbors with loud noises or smelly fumes, providing a less stressful grooming experience with no more contact with other pets and their germs. With nearly 50 years combined professional grooming experience, Village's residents Eric and Sharon McFarland bring their expertise and full line of competitively priced services to your home. Big dogs or small, they do them all. I trust them with my Sully and Lily, and you can trust them with yours. Fur and Away, they're the best mobile groomer in the Villages. All right, we're back. I hope you enjoyed seeing Sully. He's the lighter colored one, and obviously he's quite spirited at 3 years old.
Yeah, they're awesome.
Yeah, they're my babies. But all right, let's see. You are fading in and out. Okay, so let me turn up the microphones. So we have the microphones. One's right here and one's way over here. That way,
so maybe a little closer to
we'll move a little closer to the microphones, and I've turned it up just a little bit, so hopefully that fixes the sound issue. Thanks for the feedback, and hopefully there is no feedback. So we had some here. Let's see. Unschool says, someone told me Boosters was dead on your opening day. Any comments on the competition and its perspective?
No comment on that one.
Yeah.
I would say they have good people working there. That's all.
Yeah. I mean, like you, I have competitors, and I try not to talk about them too much.
I gotta be honest with you. We've got some wonderful competitors here. And we're blessed to have some of the operators that we have in the villages. I'd rather have good competition. It's easier to have good competition because it's sharp as iron sharpens iron, and I'd rather have good competition because it makes us better, it makes them better. So no, I welcome it.
And anytime something new opens up, the surrounding
absolutely.
businesses.
But we do have some great operators in the villages, and
they're friends, they're not enemies.
Oh no, they're truly our friends. I appreciate so many of them. I talk to so many of them on a regular basis, and I appreciate what they do and how hard they work.
Yeah. So, since we're talking about competition, one of the questions that popped up earlier, I'll just answer it. It's not about your restaurants, but it was some of the other YouTubers that do drone flights. They apparently received a letter asking, basically a cease and desist letter. And I have not received one yet. I'm checking the mailbox. It's unfortunate, but we're each of us will have to deal with these things as our business models predict. For me, I strive very hard to fly legally and within line of sight, and I have really worked hard at that over the last several years. But I don't know all the circumstances. I tend not to watch other people's stuff because I want my content to be original. The only time I'll watch something is when somebody points it out to me. But we'll come into that later. Sorry. Let's see. Dana, Virginia says, how about a rotating international cuisine feature? So each month feature a different menu option from one country, Greece, India, Germany, Africa, etc. It's an interesting idea. But that's your line of business, not mine.
Again, that comes back to ethnic food, and we hear you loud and clear.
So Fred, what's the biggest challenges with doing business in the villages or in the restaurant industry in general?
Restaurant industry, the biggest challenge has been food prices. It's skyrocketed, as all of you know, and it was just continuously just keeps going up and until now, and hopefully it'll subside. And but it's been very, very challenging. just trying to writing a menu, trying to keep the prices down.
Yeah.
Extremely difficult. I know people are tired of high prices, but believe me, we are working extremely hard, and it just comes down to purchasing properly. And I come from a chain world where we had hundreds of restaurants that you could buy for larger people, and we're trying to bring some of that systems in place here, even though we only have, a dozen and a half restaurants, to be able to apply some of those applications that they use, the larger groups use, to be able to source products at a reasonable price. But it's something we continuously work on. We're aware of it, that it's extremely price sensitive, and we do everything we can to keep the prices low.
When you talk about prices, I see comments frequently about everybody's prices, and whether it's the Village's home prices. There was a comment on the 5-minute one I did the other day, where I showed you a restaurant here about the prices, and I hear it at home. My wife is like, I don't want to spend that much money on a hamburger. I can get it cheaper at home. Folks, this isn't 1985 anymore. This isn't 1990. This is 2025, and the prices are the realities. Everything's going up, and so if a pound of meat goes up for you, you got to pass it along to in your product.
All I say is we work hard on menu engineering. We work on.
Where'd my? Oh, there we go. So if you guys, anybody can hear me, please send a quick message. Let me know. Hopefully we're streaming. You know what? I'm gonna jump over to YouTube real quick and see if we're on.
Do this until mid-April. We start on Monday, March 17th.
I'm 57 and hadn't exercised in years.
All right. Hopefully we're streaming. You know what? We are streaming. Jump over to YouTube real quick. Sorry about that. It's very difficult to tell on this software whether you're still streaming or not. All right. Let's go back. All right. I saw a couple of chat messages come in. We'll see what happens. Anyway.
You want me to throw something while we're waiting? The one question I get all the time.
Go ahead. Hang on, we got some background noise. The cleaning crew is in here sprucing up for early. Okay, go ahead.
The questions I get asked all the time: do I have children? I have 3 kids, and I have 3 adult children, no grandkids. Somebody asked me again last night: any grandkids? No grandkids. I'm waiting for that day.
Like you, I have no grandkids either. All right. Wow. So I'm assuming that we've got connection back. I'm just not seeing it on my YouTube scroll. Okay, so we're gonna have to skip the live questions, I guess, because we got a YouTube failure. Let me turn it off. And of course, there we go. And where'd it go? Where'd it go? Chat turned off. Okay. Oops. Turn the chat back on. And it disappeared. Technology. At least this isn't as bad as the first time I tried to do it on site. It was terrible. Oh my gosh, that was, I think, episode 33, and everything failed. Anyway, so let's see. I had some other questions. We'll kill some time here. Somebody asked about, who is this? Kelly says, I was wondering what you think of irrigation system filters. Do you recommend getting one? Someone named Chuck Gorspich was mentioned on Talkative Villages. He offers a system filter for $335. Wow, filters. This is the first I've heard of filters for sprinkler systems.
For sprinkler systems?
Yeah, for the sprinkler system. I mean, I know that there's filters inside the sprinkler heads, and I know that initially there's a lot of gunk in the pipes, and it takes a month or so to clean out. But honestly, since so few people are using them, I'm not gonna jump on that one. I'd pass. I'd clean the sprinkler heads out until it's what you call it? Everything is running great. Somebody asked, they were talking about the new villas that are going in right there at McNeil. What do they call them? Garden villas.
Beautiful. I love those.
Yeah.
Drove by and saw them. I was like, wow, it looks very nice.
It's interesting. The front yards look interesting. They want to know, do you have to have a realtor to look at them, like the Street of Dreams? Yeah. You gotta use the village's realtor. Let's see. We're gonna save that one for later. Had a realtor. Well, never mind. We won't talk about realtors. All right. What the heck? I'll read it. It says, "Please, Don, don't call agents from the village's realtors. Don't call agents from the village's realtors, as they are not a member of National Association of Realtors or any other affiliated group that we, our realtors, pay dearly for and continue to have education requirements that they do not. They are simply licensed agents. It irks us that pay dearly for our time and education to work in our industry to hear agents called realtors. We work hard for our designation. Thank you for all you do." You know, I mean, they have educational requirements also. My understanding is they have many of the same requirements that realtors have. They don't. They're unhappy that the villages have locked out outside sales agents from selling, and that the outside agents don't have access to the VLS system, the villages realtor system, for seeing those listings and selling them. Based on anything, the only color they see is green, because once again, it's a business. It's about the money, and I think they do a good job. Yeah, I showed you this one the other night. It was another themed restaurant serving glorified bar food. Most of the menus is easy to cook, deep fried, or has sauce or cheese topping as a cheap way to make mediocre food taste good. A tried and true practice in the villages where most of the patrons think Olive Garden is Italian food.
I think somebody's angry. I think somebody's got some other issues.
I love the response, though, that Dennis in something or other, Dennis says, "I would eat at your restaurant. Please leave the name and address so I can go." It's easy to judge somebody else's business when you're not in that business. Right. And, that one, well, here. We'll do that with it. Because, I mean, it's hard work. I mean, anybody that runs a business, you're working your tail off day in and day out.
Especially restaurant business, it's extremely hard.
Long hours. I mean, you're open until 10 o'clock at night, which means you're not home until midnight sometimes, or later.
As it was pointed out to me this week, and said, "You work 7 days this week." I said, "Yeah, okay."
Yeah,
There's 7 days in a week, so you got to work.
What's new, right? Yeah. So this one, Jennifer. Man, I'm not going to try and kill your name, Jennifer, but this was an interesting question, and it deals with Eastport, and so you're going to appreciate this. She says the dance area at Eastport, which is right in front of Prime and Embers, has always looked small to me on the diagrams, and now seeing your video, it still looks small on camera. How does it look to you? Is the area in front of the stage similar to Spanish Springs or bigger like Sumter? As someone who performs in the square, Spanish Springs is a nightmare being so small. Brownwood is really nice that almost all of the seating is on one side so everyone can see the performances, plus the stadium seating is great. Is the stage bigger than the other squares? It's nice having a bigger stage at Sawgrass. Dancers and exercise instructors can actually be on stage. So I have not been up close and personal to the stage. I can only see what I can see from standing someplace legally. You've seen the stage. Is it bigger, you think?
I don't know at this point. We'll see how when it's completed and finished. I think we should just wait for that and see how it's. But I've learned to trust the villages and their development and how they build things because they know so much more than I do,
Yeah.
and they've got such a wonderful, amazing history to build things right. And I would hold judgment on that until it's finished and see how it looks. But
Yeah.
they've done everything right, and I think this is going to be. They're going to hit it out of the park with this one.
Yeah. I mean, my take on it, and I've shared this with my viewers before, one of the things that the Villages has shared about Eastport is that there's no parking on the waterfront road. So there's not going to be cars there like there is in all the other town squares that has cars parked all the way around. And they're going to be able to close off the feeder streets going to that. Which when you do that, now you don't just have the paved area, but you also have another 25 foot of roadway, plus it can spill over to the sidewalks in front of the businesses. And that goes from the west end of Eastport Hotel all the way around to the boathouse, plus they got Sunset Island. And that's a huge area. It's a huge area. And they've got a lot of parking because of the ball fields and the recreation center and the commercial area and the hotel. So I think it's going to be a huge venue.
I think it's going to be amazing. I can't wait. I think Eastport's going to be beautiful.
Yeah. You know,
Just like everything else we do here.
Yeah. I mean, and you know, they have. I don't know any details on it yet, but I know that there's like 4 or 5 pavilions along the lake, and if they have speakers in them that's coming from downtown, I don't know, but it wouldn't surprise me that they take that route. But hello, at least it wasn't Glassboro.
They're getting ready to open up here soon.
Yeah, we're gonna have
the staff is getting ready for the restaurant to open.
Okay. Let's see. This one's for you, even though it's addressed to me. This is from JV Niner fan. Hi Don, always an informative video, much appreciated. Question: do you know if Woodlands and or Meadowview Championship clubhouses will have a restaurant?
I'm not sure. I can't answer that.
Okay, no comment. It would surprise me if they didn't.
Most country clubs have a restaurants attached to them.
Yeah, I mean it's an important feature.
It's a country club. Mhm.
Yeah. If they do, hopefully it'll be some more formal dining, like Evans Prairie has, and Bonifay, and Belgrade. Personally, when I go to a country club, that's what I like. I want to sit down, have a nice, quiet meal, and the menu of Evans Prairie and I have become old friends.
If I can, I know time is wrapping up. We're here pretty soon. If just one last comment, if I can make, I would love your feedback. Again, any input is extremely important. What you want to see on the menu, what you would like to see for offerings, any feedback, positive or negative, and it's appreciated. Feel free to write to me. My email address is fred@ourfmk.com or any of our websites. Click on Contact Us, and our entire team gets that. So don't be shy. Tell us what you think. We love your feedback. We appreciate you, and we thank you for your business.
Thank you, Fred. I want to thank you for allowing me to do this here. I thought it was, obviously it was very generous of you to allow me to do this. But I thought it would be good for the folks to get to meet the man behind all these great restaurants. I am, like you, a small businessman, although I say you're a small businessman. How many people you got working for you?
A lot. Right now we're about 800 and some odd people here.
Wow.
We're approaching 900.
That's a lot of folks. I got one guy working for me. But small business, it's the lifeblood of this country, and recognizing small business individuals to me is important. If you see my advertisers, they're all small businesses in and around the local area. I try and support them and give them a platform for products that I would personally use or endorse. Obviously, today's sponsor, they've earned my business. Sully and Lily took right to them. There's two shots in there where Lily's got her head right on his shoulder, and of course Sully is. Let me clean your face here. But anyway, thank you again,
Thank
Fred.
you.
Folks, we'll be back next week. Thank you for tuning in early. It was a necessity so that Fred could get his restaurant open. And with that, we're going to call it a day. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Far and Away Mobile Pet Grooming provides professional grooming services right outside your home. Their state-of-the-art mobile grooming salon won't disturb your neighbors with loud noises or smelly fumes, providing a less stressful grooming experience with no more contact with other pets and their germs. With nearly 50 years combined professional grooming experience, Village's residents Eric and Sharon McFarland bring their expertise and full line of competitively priced services to your home. Big dogs or small, they do them all. I trust them with my Sully and Lily, and you can trust them with yours. Far and Away, they're the best mobile groomer in the Villages.